at home, or some people don't want to go home with their partner. How are you today, JRX TV?
I'm all good, thank you. Hope everyone out there is well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I just these homestays were enlightening, as they always are. What did you think about homestays? Your general thoughts?
General thoughts. Mm, Considering we had the last couples couch, I thought that everybody that is still there as a couple was pretty much locked in, except for Grace and Ashley. But no, homestays proved differently.
Right, they did. They were enlightening. Okay, and Tracy came in early saying, "I have feelings." Well, Tracy, we gonna share our feelings together. Okay, I have feelings as well. Who would you like to start with?
Mm, let's go with let's go with Bailey and Rebecca.
Okay, Bailey and Rebecca. There we
Yeah.
go. That lovely couple. Now, Bailey and Rebecca this week, they do go to each other's homestays, and they live far, far, far away from each other. And I'm gonna need you to help me with the geography, okay? They are far away. I think he said it takes about 4 hours to get to where she is, but it took them like 6 because of traffic. But
Mhm.
are the experts doing a disservice to people when they match them and they live so far from each other?
No, not necessarily. Um, Obviously, the further someone is away, the more difficult it is to spend time together. And as in this case, both parties can't just up and leave what they've got going on. So yeah, it can be a detriment. I'm not sure if it's intentional though. I don't know. Um, because in some cases, the person is quite happy. One of the parties is quite happy to uproot and leave to be with their partner, but um, I'm surprised that Bailey and Rebecca didn't discuss this in more detail up until now. They knew it was there, but to have no solid plan at this stage showed the experiment's over now. You've had the homestays, so yeah, it was kind of crazy to see them reach the point where, for the first time after having such a strong connection, it could all be in jeopardy now.
I wonder if that's because Bailey kind of assumed Rebecca would move to his area because once he saw her home and her business in her home, he kind of was like, I get it.
Mm. Yeah, could very well be. Plus, he's got Bluebell.
Yes. He can't move away from his daughter. Not that he can't, okay, y'all. I'm not saying he can't. He can if he wishes to. But again, he doesn't want to move away where he can't just see his daughter when he would like and how often he would like. And Rebecca says she's not going to ask him to make that choice. It's a difficult position they both are in. Both of them definitely, because Bailey is living. Is it closer to London? This, because he doesn't have a house like Rebecca has a house. She's more in the burbs. It seems like.
There's suburbs all over London. It just seems like they're two different towns in general. So I think Bailey lives closer to the seaside, and those places do have suburban areas. But um, he's obviously got a priority in terms of his daughter to think about, not just necessarily how often he gets to see her, but just the stability, just knowing that he's ever present in her life.
Yes.
And to gamble that type of stability on a relationship, that wouldn't be a good look. If him and Rebecca were to break up down the line and he'd chosen to have that relationship ahead of being in his daughter's life consistently, that would obviously be a huge problem and possibly affect his relationship with his daughter and her development. So
That's huge. And number two to his relationship with his daughter is he has that brewery.
Yes, he does. He has a brewery. Now, even though he has a physical location to where he does all of that stuff, largely his product is outsourced nationwide. So I'm not sure how hands-on he needs to be with the physical aspects of the job.
Aspect.
Yeah.
Understood. Now, Tracy, Chapel has a question. Do you think if Bailey had a nicer place, Rebecca would be okay with renting out her house? Maybe if she would move to where he is?
I don't know. She never raised that as a particular concern, so I don't know. What do you think?
Right. I don't know either because even if he had a house, she will be starting over with her business. She does have a clientele and her business is built out of her house and her community. So I really don't know if he had a house that she could have her own office in there and her own setup. I don't know. It's always the risk of being a sole proprietor that, maybe, you know, will your business grow in his area?
Mm,
I mean, she
that's
could
true.
try if he had a place and she had a place where she can have her equipment there and she can do skincare and routines there. I would try and say, maybe on long weekends or, one weekend a month run your business, out of there, but he does not. Okay? But
And
yeah,
the other thing is one has a service-based business and the other one has a product-based business. So again, they're two different types of business. And I'm sure, you know, he would, if there was a way to make both businesses function in a way where they're not so hands-on, so that they could actually relocate somewhere and be together, they would have thought of that and possibly tried it. They're both savvy business people, you know. So I just think this is it was a bit of a downer to
yes.
see their relationship get all this way only to fall at the end due to logistics. Yeah.
Again, we hear location, location, location. Well, you know what, Rebecca? Here's the thing: what I would do, and Bailey, I would certainly, kind of merge the businesses a little bit. Bailey, I would say, make sure that Rebecca's clients get, at least to be able to taste the beer that you are selling, so you could possibly open up a new clientele.
Hmm. Not sure if that's ethical.
Right, I know. I'm just thinking of a way to, branch out the business, and certainly, Bailey can advertise her business, on his site or wherever. But no, I was just trying to be cheeky.
Hmm.
Um, yes, hey Munira, yes, Rebecca's house is really nice. It could be in one of those lifestyle magazines. It was so well put together. Um,
Hmm.
for our viewing pleasure. But hey, it's wonderful. And then her mom did say, she would hate to see her go, but if this is what she needs in order to find love and to have her family, she would understand.
Right. And even with that being said, it still wasn't enough to sway her.
Right.
So, um, but yeah, unfortunately, yeah, as I said, and maybe if, well, can't really say that because he does
Yeah.
have a daughter, but if the child wasn't involved, the situation would obviously be very different by the way that they feel for each other. But now he has
Right.
to
Or if
obviously,
he or if he had sole custody. If he was
yeah,
a single dad, maybe. But
yeah,
yeah, the dynamics is as such that I don't see them getting over this geography unless Rebecca is willing to jump in his direction.
yeah. Nor do I.
Right. So that is it for Rebecca and Bailey. Who would you like to go to next?
Mm, let's go to Reese and Leisha.
You must have read my mind because I have a lot to say about these two. So this week for homestays, Leisha does take Reese to her home. He likes the city, but he don't sound like he could do it full time. They also had their final date where he took her to the amusement park. She was hoping for a very romantic date. You know, Reese, I'm sorry. The way this amusement park thing is how I think you're treating Leisha. You're gonna get on the ride, you're gonna have a good time, and then you're gonna get off and go home. And I'm sorry if that's a little too harsh, but I saw a correlation with how Leisha's being treated. But Leisha, you gotta calm down. You can't be so full throttle. You know, you can't be full throttle with this man. He hasn't been full throttle. And he already told you he's only 80% after all this time. I don't know where we started. I know 80% sounds good, but I need to know where he started to see if it's an increase or a decrease. What were your thoughts on Leisha and Reese this week?
I'm surprised they made it this far.
Ooh.
We've documented the airplane incidents. We've documented the often feisty and emotional exchanges. We've also highlighted how it's come across that she likes him and is attracted to him a lot more than he is to her. So when you put all those things together, the fact that they're still together, it's a bit of a surprise. But I think Reese was planning something fun, which is usually water slides, that type of amusement type park. For some people that is a good date. But Leisha's expectation and her family's, according to what they've been saying to her, is they want him in an infatuation with her, just like she is with him. And he isn't there, and he most likely is not going to get there either anytime soon, because it hasn't happened yet. And like I said, when you take into account the throwing up on herself and talking to other people and on the plane for an hour, that's not attractive anyway. And then to continue to have these emotional outbursts, not saying that emotions are bad, but I'm saying that when you're getting to a state where you're continually shedding tears and complaining about what he's not doing, he's not going to find that attractive. Reese seems like the type of guy where if you increase the amount of emotional pressure or anything, then he distances himself. Because he's like, nah, I don't want this.
Yeah, you're right. He does sound like that. Any pressure and he distances himself. Definitely. I understand why Reese chose this date. It's like, can we just have fun?
Mm-hmm. And
Can we just
evidently
have fun?
they can't.
Right. No.
If it's not romantic and leading to some type of proposal type or big announcement as to how he proclaims his feelings for her, she's not interested anymore. The fun times are over. They've had, she's been riding his amusements the entire time. So they've crossed that barrier already. And now she's looking for, like a declaration of love, and he isn't there.
She's looking at baby clothes even.
And that's the thing. His mum, as soon as she heard the baby talk, she was like, skirt, nope, put the brakes on, because you just met. You only
Right.
know each other 4 or 5 weeks. She talking about having kids. No, get to know each other first. And Leisha, although she absorbed it in front of the mum, she's clearly, intent on showing the baby clothes, anything she can do to reference having a child. And she also said, due to how old she is, she wants 3 kids. So she's in her 30s, early 30s, but she wants to pop out 3 kids very quickly. And I think Reese is like, I don't even know you that well, and I'm not even attracted to you like that yet. There's still time for our relationship to grow. So he's not in a rush, and she is.
Right. They're in 2 different spaces. And as Tracy, yeah, she would rather be home working on that baby.
Mm-hmm.
She would rather be home working on that baby, getting those baby clothes. And she realized that Reese's mama is not going to be on her side.
And also, all that practice that, remember, one of the things about their journey is that she was like, no, I'm not waiting till bedtime. Anytime she was ready to go, he has to be ready to go. So what she's doing is she's getting a lot of practice in to try and have the situation that she's looking for. Not saying she's trying to trap him, but it only takes one time.
And here's my thing. If I'm okay, if a man or a woman has that much access, that much physical activity, and they're
Mhm,
still only at 80% with you,
mhm,
it's either one of two things in my mind.
mm,
Either it's trash
mm,
or the personality is trash.
mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Well, I would say, people do overvalue the cooch a little bit. The cooch is not the deal breaker. That's not the deciding factor for guys. No. So I'd probably say it's more to do with the personality side of things. There's an attraction, there's a chasm, there's a gap in that, and a differentiation in how he's attracted to her and her with him. Clearly, she looked at him on the wedding day and she was like, yes. And he looked her on the wedding day and was like, oh, this is all right.
You sure? Because when she had that little, he was like, no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was like, this is all right. This ain't great.
Oh, okay. It's like,
Um, yeah, but again, they've been knocking the boots the whole time, so the attraction's
whole time.
grown somewhat. But that, that doesn't necessarily, the cookie doesn't necessarily mean that he's locked in the same way that she is. And also, it doesn't mean that he's not locked in on a relationship with her and the marriage. It just means his level of attraction is lower than hers.
Right.
And that's what I think the big deal is. The kids,
Right.
and she likes him more than he likes her. So she feels more vulnerable because she's expressing all the time how she feels about him. And he's already said, listen, I don't want no drama. So the more drama you bring, the less likely you're going to get to that stage with him.
Right. Reese, as he said, he constantly tells her, I'm not for all this drama,
Mhm.
all this outburst, all this, outward enthusiasm. I think he will be fine with enthusiasm if it's directed elsewhere and
Yeah.
if it didn't come with pressure.
Hmm.
If it didn't come with pressure. If she was enthusiastic about, the amusement park, oh my gosh, let's go on this ride, let's go
Right.
do this game, that he would be in it. But when that enthusiasm is focused on him,
Mm.
I think it's where he backpedals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else on Leisha and Reese?
Mm, no, because again, I'm not sure how they continue with this relationship, to be honest. But we'll see in the next episode what happens.
We'll see, because isn't this the final week coming up?
Yes, it is, and they're going to bring back the old cast members who've already gone home to come
I,
and complicate things and be messy even more for some reason.
they need to just stay home. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Let's go to the couple that decided to leave.
Hmm.
April and Leo. So they had the homestay.
Yeah.
April was at Leo's, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but April looked like she was begrudgingly cooking for Leo, but she cooked very happily for Steven when it
Hmm.
was the partner swap.
Yeah.
Leo was trying to be more jovial than he usually was. He's trying to come out of his shell. He had some a little bit of crass jokes. But hey, he was trying a little too hard in my expectation. But April wasn't really smiling. She wasn't really getting his joke. She really don't want to get him anymore. And he left his home and left her there. But he did go to her homestay.
Mm.
He left his phone and everything and didn't come back till 7 a.m. That's a little much for me, leaving the phone.
Mm.
But they both decide
Nothing,
to leave. Go ahead.
nothing Leo can do can sway April or win her over. Nothing. Unless he transformed into Steven, there's nothing, or Ashley, who she also liked, there's nothing Leo can do. No jokes. At this point, there's nothing. April has firmly made up her mind that she's repulsed, she's not into him, and it isn't going to happen. And yeah, she was begrudgingly cooking for him because she's like, what's the point? She's not feeling him no more. Like, why is she even doing anything? And Leo, I think, if he has attempted to come out of his shell, he's left it very late to try and do that. And yeah, I agree with Tracy, actually, because Steven's jokes are quite flirtatious with her. During their swap, the couple swap, the banter between Steven and April was very flirty, very sexual innuendo type
Risque.
stuff, risque. Yep. So it also shows you that if she likes you, your jokes are funny. If she don't like you, and she's just gonna look at you like, man, this idiot. These jokes aren't landing. And that's where she sees Leo compared to how she sees Steven. So
But when did
yeah.
it turn? When did it turn?
When did it turn?
Yeah, because they were hot and heavy on the honeymoon.
The honeymoon was like what, day 2?
Right, for them, because they're one of the late arrivals.
Yeah.
They're
But
one of
after
the
that,
late arrivals. But
after
they
that,
were
no, it's been a struggle. He's struggled to be able to relax enough to be able to just be himself, talk to her, and in a way that not only does he feel comfortable doing, but that she is attracted to.
I
Like,
think
he
it was when they moved in, for real.
could be that, yeah, but it was, for me, it never got started. Never got started with them.
But she on the honeymoon, she was excitedly talking about him. She was exciting, she was like, talking to the producer into the camera, like,
That,
did I see Leo's hot dog? I cannot confirm or deny. She was sounding very
that
into
was
him.
that was the third day.
I know. And then it just tanked,
Yeah, and this is like 3 weeks later.
kept
So
on tanking.
yeah, exactly. It just kept going downward spiral, and I don't recall seeing her one time happy since the honeymoon. Not one time
Right.
have I seen her look like she's into him.
But then when Rebecca, tells, sorry, Leo, that she may not be that into him,
Mhm.
April had a problem with it.
Yeah, because sometimes people don't like other people pointing out the obvious. Give anything, if you give anything a name or a label, then you're a hater. And that's what April kind of looked like she took offense to someone else commenting on her demeanor and how their relationship's going. Not
Right,
that
because she didn't
it's not
deny
true.
it.
Yeah, she
Right.
didn't deny it. No, and even the experts, when they grilled her on the couch, she's admitted she's not into him. She just doesn't get it. She just doesn't see him. In fact, if we're keeping it real, April has actually started turning quite hostile towards Leo in the way she speaks about him. He's not doing enough. He's never done enough. He's not trying. He's not, completely diminishing his efforts. And sometimes he looks bewildered because he's like, didn't I try to do this yesterday? And she's like, no, you didn't. Like, so everything he does, doesn't matter what it is, she's slapping it down and saying,
Yeah.
no, it's too late.
Yeah. 7 weeks and I don't know you. How do I not know you in 7 weeks? Just the tone of it. It was very
Yeah,
much like it's his fault, constantly
exactly.
it's his fault. And
Yeah.
I would need to see the interactions, because I wonder if she's just tired of asking him the questions to
Mhm.
kind of draw him out and learn about him, and she's just fed up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's been probably single for a long enough time where interacting with his friends is what he's used to. In a relationship, there's vulnerability, there's mutual chemistry, there's sexual attraction, there's all these different components. And I don't think he's understood how to process and navigate that with April during this experiment.
Exactly. I agree with you. But their homestays were a bit of a challenge. Okay.
Hmm.
So Let's go to, well, they left, y'all. April and Leo both wrote leave, and so they have left the experiment.
The building.
Left the building. Um, I think Leisha wanted Abby's date, final date at the castle, and the whole Beauty and the Beast thing, but John is not a beast, as she said. Um, mm, I don't know. I'm still not buying Abby and John perfection. I hope it is perfection. Don't get me wrong. I hope it is perfection. But I'm just not buying it. I'm not hearing, I guess because all we see is the sweet stuff, and I'm not hearing the deep conversations. I'm not hearing the where will we live? Are we okay set on how many kids we would have? I'm not hearing the deeper part of their relationship. I'm just hearing the I love yous, the butterflies, all the, heartwarming stuff, but I'm not hearing the deep connection. Okay. So Tracy think they're hired actors. That would stand to reason if they were. Okay. Because I'm not sure. We haven't had this successful of a couple in a while on MAFS. What are your thoughts on Abby and John?
Strongest couple so far, and very much enamored with each other. Not sure. I don't know. I don't know how real it is, but I'm just happy to see a couple that isn't fighting, throwing up on themselves, saying harmful words. I'm just thankful that at least there's one couple that just saw each other, got together, had a pleasant process, and even the homestays and the visits, they haven't had any problems whatsoever necessarily. And they finally said the L words, and they love each other. So, and the parents seem pleasantly, and firmly behind their relationships as well. So there isn't much to report from me. I'm glad that it's just not a toxic, another breakdown, and there's at least one couple that have stayed the course.
Right, because John planned a wonderful final date in the experiment with Abby. Everything she wanted to be a princess in a castle and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
What does John like? I find myself with more questions about this couple than anything. What does John like? It seems like John is nothing wrong with this, continuously to cater to Abby, but I don't know John's likes and dislikes.
Does it matter what he likes?
I just don't know John in this whole experiment.
He likes Abby. He wants to see her happy, making her feel good. And that makes him feel good. From what I gather, that's all I got. That's all I got.
Hey, of all the couples, this is the only couple I can say on decision day. Well, not the only. One of two couples I would say would be a yes on decision day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, next up, Lee and Leisha. Leah and Lee, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. These two, Lee decided that since she saw Leah at a bar, being too flirtatious with someone, she was not going to Leah's homestay. So Leah went home, but Lee came the next day. They had a conversation, and Lee still reiterates that is her past. And Leah says, unless you can, truly, truly trust me, we don't have anything here. They tried to show us that they're getting more physically connected. They did the whole pottery thing. Lee sat on Leah's lap and they try to make pottery together. I don't buy it, ladies. I don't buy it. Y'all need to just give it up, wrap it up, and stay home. What were your thoughts on Leah and Leah this week?
I'm not buying it either. No way. I don't think they match at all. I think Lee has been very she's been a Debbie Downer most of the time. She's been quite stubborn and stuck in her ways, not compromising, not flexible. to start with. I think Leah was hoping for a more romantic connection straight away. And after being pushed away so many times, I think she's learned to navigate around the way Lee treats her in order to keep the relationship going. But fundamentally, Leah is considered very flirtatious by Lee. And Lee doesn't even like Leah physically. So it's a case of you don't like Leah, but you don't like any other attention that she receives. You don't like her spending time with other people. You don't like her having laughs and jokes with other people. Even friends that she's known before she came before this show, she just doesn't like that at all. So that to me is a level of controlling that I think Lee needs to definitely work on. And I don't think she will, because she sees that as her boundaries that she sets for her relationships. And Leah will soon grow tired of, wait a minute, you don't even want me like that. You're barely giving me a peck on the cheek after 7 weeks together. And that's only to save face in front of everybody else. Other than that, there is nothing that we're doing behind closed doors. So I think Leah is, you saw how she was with Leisha. You also saw how she was during this interaction on the home stage, the reason why Lee didn't come. There were 2 other ladies present. And there was one that Leah was particularly spending more time with than the other. And that made Lee jealous. So she decided to sabotage the whole homestay just because of that. And then come down a day later when she felt like coming down. And that was only to basically say, why did you do that? Who is this girl? Is she a threat? And Leah had to yet again explain. And I think Leah's getting tired of always having to have a third inquisition, an interrogation every single day, wearing her down. So I'm not sure this couple stay together afterwards.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to stay together. As you said, Leah did say it's an inquisition. It's constantly when she comes home, it is she feels like she's being interrogated. Okay, this is what you did. This is how you behave. And I think Leah is kind of like reminding me of Reese in a bit. I just want to have fun with you. Can we just have a little bit of fun? And I think because Lee is not, carrying some kind of fun or light energy,
At all.
Leah, right. Leah is like, I got to be around people that are going to make me laugh, get my jokes, and just have a bit of fun. And she's not going to cheat on you. She just needs some, interactions with people that would make her laugh and not make her feel like she's under a microscope being analyzed heavily and being judged for every
Exactly.
little thing she does. It's
Yeah.
exhausting.
It's very relatable. Right. Lee is just not someone who you put fun and Lee in the same sentence. She
Well,
seemed
not with
very
Leah.
no, but she seems very deadpan anyway. She seems very opinionated about everything, but deadpan in general with her personality. But Leah is more fun. I think Leah needs to have that type of fun, relax, let your hair down, banter, jokes, a much more, she got a different sense of humor. Whereas
Right.
Lee sense of humor is like at the bottom of the totem pole, and being critical and expecting things and demanding things, and that's all at the top of Lee's list when it comes to conducting herself in a relationship. And she does not spare a thought for how that impacts Leah, who's always on the receiving end of all of these different things. So, being hypercritical, being focused on every single flaw, being focused on every single thing that you can pull her up on, that's ultimately going to make someone not want to be with you anymore. They're not going to care about what you got to say anymore because you always got something to say. And that's
Yeah.
what's going to happen. I think Leah's just going to eventually say, enough's enough, I'm checking out. You're not reciprocating the feelings I have. You're not reciprocating the light-hearted, warm gestures, the conversations, you know, the affection that I want. You're not reciprocating it. I'm done. All you want to do is just stand there and finger wag the whole relationship. I'm sorry, bye. That's how I
Right,
think that's going to go.
because Leah, we see, is planning all these dates for Lee. You know,
Mhm.
the date on the water. She was planning other dates. And at the honeymoon was the picnic, was the yes, they don't know each other, but was also the zip lining that I would love to do. You know, through Switzerland in the winter. The zip lining is beautiful. But I haven't. Lee planned two things, and as far as we know, it never happened. The candle night after the expert came talking about intimacy, it never happened, according to Leah. And also, she got the lingerie with Davide, and that never happened.
Don't forget the whip
So
now. Don't forget the whip as
that
well.
never happened. It never happened.
No, because it wasn't for the purposes of intimacy. It was to whip her into shape.
Yeah, into submission.
Yeah, if you don't do this, this is what you go and get.
Yeah, we got to make it fun, even with the whip.
Yeah. Oh, you want to talk back to me? How many lashes you want? That's what that's for.
Hey, I wouldn't.
Intimidation tool.
I would not disagree. I'm not. We're not saying Leah is being subjected to capital punishment, y'all. We're just saying if that whip is being used, it is not for pleasure.
Now she probably wants another whip so she can have one for each hand.
What was that cartoon character? Wasn't that Catwoman?
Yes. The Catwoman whip.
There you go. There you go.
Meow.
So, right, meow. So speaking of meow, okay, let's get to Davide and Kia. Okay, the jokes write themselves this week, okay? I sent memo me's to Wilco's Rehashed. Absolutely fabulous show. Great production. He does wonderful recaps and reviews on his channel. Absolutely love him. He's out of Australia. And y'all, please, if you can, check out Wilco Rehashed on YouTube. And the jokes wrote themselves. So Kia is in London, and absolutely gorgeous apartment. You could better tell me where it is. And then they went to Davide's location, and he has a lovely apartment too. I believe those ladies are his roommates, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and he's in one of the suburbs. I think it only takes about an hour outside of London, but they both are kind of like, Davide is like hoping Kia loves his location, but Kia's like, I need London. I need my friends. I need, the more upbeat city, larger city. I just can't live in the burbs out here. But also Davide took him, to a cat cafe. This is where there are like 10, 15 cats around the cafe where you can have your tea or whatever and still play around with the cat. This is because Davide has a cat. Okay. He wanted to get Kia, accustomed to cats. And Kia felt in a small space and around all those kitty cats. And y'all, that's why the jokes write themselves. A little kitty action had Kia running all the way back home. And, you know, I would say, Davida, this ain't the right way. For someone who is unaccustomed to, being in a room with cats, you don't put them in a room with several cats. That I thought that was not well thought out. But hey, in their final date, they certainly watched their wedding video all over again. They definitely talked about the whole cat situation and the cafe and getting Kia more accustomed to the animal that Davide has. And Kia did a wonderful thing and adopted two otters because that's what Davide loves. And I think they're back on track. They are the only other couple I would say would be a yes on decision day. What are your thoughts this week on these two?
I think they were certain to say yes on decision day before the homestays. I think the homestays revealed Kie's phobia. He's afraid of pussy, cats, and I'm not surprised by that. Look at him; he's a flamer. He's allergic. So I would say just the sight of it, just the whiff of it in the air, just the way it feels. It's making Kie very apprehensive. He doesn't want to be around it. Doesn't want any near him. But they overcame it. I think the time in the cattery, really, that was very fear-inducing for him. You could tell because he had a very aggressive outburst for someone like him, right? He reacted the same way as when Julia Ruthless was acting fake, and he got up and he stormed out and he said, "I don't need this fake stuff," and da-da-da, right? So it was almost the same kind of reaction. It must have really ticked him off. But he apologized, they made up, and sometimes they say it's not the argument that causes the problem, it's how you make up. And there seemed to be a resolution there that brought their relationship back on track.
Yeah, they definitely did get back on track. Davide said he is willing to move to where Kie is in London because he can certainly work from home. It will be an adjustment, but I really do believe that they can say yes on decision day. It's them, and Abby and John are my only two that I'm going on record as saying they're gonna be just fine on decision day. Now, if y'all aren't, y'all, I don't know what to say if they are not. But we have two more couples to get through. And which one do you wish to go?
I think we should go with Grace and Ashley, who didn't actually turn up to each other's homestays. They both decided to go home individually.
Not only that, they did not go to each other's homes and had to explain to their families why they're not there. They did not come back for the commitment ceremonies. They did separate commitment conversations with the experts. Ashley is saying that, let me start with Grace first, actually. Grace feels that Ashley has to earn her trust and he has not. She feels like he does stuff to make her look like the bad person in the interactions. The joke that they had, or the joke that he did, that was the tip of the iceberg for her this week, is like he said, "Hey, when she was getting changed and ready for the gym, that hey, there's a unclothed woman in front of me. Of course, I'm frisky," and she took that to mean any woman unclothed in front of him would mean that he would be, moved in this manner. So she's just a piece of meat. While he's like, no, it is, you are my wife. And he just said it in that manner. And he feels like she's dissecting every word he says. Because he didn't say wife, it's a problem. So I just think, again, since the wedding day, Grace was not feeling Ashley. Since the wedding day, she was crashing out. I just felt like it was like the ocean. Every week was some sort of crash out about to happen. Something was about to crest. Now Ashley has his problems. We do hear that from Grace, that when she wouldn't be in the restroom with the door locked, he would open it and come in. Ashley, that's a no-no. I'm okay with it with my husband. That's just me though. But if someone locks a door, unless they are in danger, for themselves, you should leave that and let them have their privacy. That right there. But I feel like Grace is, I hate to say this in this manner, but this is how I'm feeling. It feels like a weaponization of feminism. And it's just like man bad, man is always bad. But the expert said it really well. Grace came in saying you need to earn trust. Ashley came in with full trust that you are my wife and we could be open with each other. So he may be pushing her boundaries, but I don't think Ashley's malicious with it in what we have seen of this edited produced show. What are your thoughts on Ashley and Grace?
My thoughts are almost exactly as you called it just now. I don't think she has been into their marriage, into him, because man bad. Every single time something goes down, man is bad. I don't think I've seen her take accountability for anything. She's very jittery, very finger pointy, very critical, a Debbie Downer. I did see her post saying that she's turned off her comments because she's sick and tired of everyone calling her out on her behavior. But again, Ashley's no saint. Nobody is. But if you're basically seen a majority of the time with your TV time, a majority of it is spent critiquing and shutting down and breaking down your partner, then you are going to wear him down. And that's the point where Ashley got to, is being ground down every single day. She didn't want him to touch her in the beginning. He didn't. After they were intimate one time, immediately afterwards, I don't even think they even pulled the sheets back over them. She started talking about another Brad, started talking about April and how she doesn't like that April thinks Ashley's such a great guy. He hadn't even done anything. He'd taken the time. Like, this is what I didn't understand. She is saying that she felt like a piece of meat when he made that joke. Now, a few weeks back, after they were intimate, immediately after they were intimate, and he wanted to kiss and pet and maybe go to sleep, she started talking about someone else. After she got what she wanted from him, which was to feel good temporarily in that moment. Started talking about April, and I don't like the fact that April keeps calling you a good guy, and she says she's attracted to you and you would be her ideal husband. All of those insecurities being poured into him after you've just been vulnerable and intimate. And then now, a joke about yoga pants. You know, she's getting ready to go to the gym and whatnot. She said she had some other issues going on as well, so there was no intimacy about to happen. But his joke didn't land because it basically wasn't specific to her. It didn't say, oh, Grace, well, you know, you look so sexy. I just really can't contain myself right now. He said, you know, listen, a woman with a figure like yours, attractive and everything, of course I'm a red-blooded man. Of course I'm going to get turned on by that. And she just turned around and went, nope, man, bad. Bad. Right? Then, not only that, she spent the next few episodes trying to either get him to apologize for it, go around the group and try and make him feel small for making that joke, and then coming back to him afterwards and saying, well, I also set you a task during the couple swap and you didn't think about me at all. You went and had fun. I didn't want you to have fun. I wanted you to stew and really reflect on what you had said to me. And he's like, you must be having a laugh. I'm going on this couple swap to enjoy the process. You know, I'm not going to do anything crazy, but I'm not going to be thinking about you chastising me every 5 minutes. So that's when the relationship was over. I'm not surprised that they didn't do the final home stays. I think they should have gone home. What I was thinking as I was watching it is, who went first? Who sat down in front of the experts first? Because whoever did is going to have the ability to taint the expert's opinion for the person going second. Yeah. So if Grace sits down first and she says, well, you know, I just feel like he hasn't done enough. And yep, I went to use the bathroom and he came and picked the locks. And that left me feeling very insecure, very vulnerable. It was over after that.
It sounded
Uh,
like she went first. It's
Right.
sounding like the way they knew about the lock picking and everything that she went first, but it doesn't matter. Meaning that when they went to the commitment ceremonies,
Hmm.
they're both on the couch and Ashley was still getting plummeted.
Yeah. Getting
So
pummeled.
the whole it's like he can't it's like Leah. He can't get above water. He can't just have a chill good time. He
No,
can't have a moment. It can't just be fun. It
no.
may be a different idea of fun, but I would have turned it back on Grace. Any of the women, they were too much on Grace's side. And I'm not saying, y'all, of course, this is my public service announcement. Don't go to these people's social media. These are actual people, and all we see in are snippets on a show. Do not go to their social media ranting at them. Okay? If you have something nice to say, then you can say it. If you don't, leave them alone. Okay? Because
Hmm.
when the show is over, we have another season. It is done, but they have to live their lives. Please do not go out there. Okay?
Hmm.
But in this, I'm not saying but as far as don't go out there. In this instance, I'm gonna flip it over. If I was one of the ladies in there, I'd be like, Grace, okay, my husband is a handsome man. I would have told him the same thing. When I see a handsome man there, okay, and it could have been Leisha, could have been the one to say that. I want it from Reese all the time. He be looking good all the time.
But
Or when
again,
I see a handsome man, I get all flustered, you know.
right. But again, that shows you that she's not even attracted to him like that.
But
Right.
why are we sleeping together?
Exactly.
Why are we sleeping together? And if Ashley is that malicious and that much, attacking you, and you feel this unsafe, you can write leave. You can tell the producers, get me out of here. This man is bad for my mental health. I do not feel safe here. You can leave. So all of this, I'm side eyeing Grace only on the fact that she can leave.
I'm side eyeing her too, because how many times did we see Grace Bright leave in the entire 7-week process?
None.
Exactamundo. Now, how many times have we seen her say about Ashley that he's handsome, attractive, the type of guy she wants, this, that, the other? How many times has she actually spoken life into him?
None. He talks about her all the time.
Exactly. She
She
talks about
even mocked
him.
him. She even mocked him when he said, I really enjoyed you. I was really happy with you this week. She's like, "Oh, Ash, what's gotten into you?"
Exactly. So he cannot win. See, what I'm seeing is, because we have discussed this with a few of the other couples. Some people genuinely do not know how to have fun or incorporate fun into their relationships. As you said, if his comment was, man, I've got a very attractive lady in front of me, of course I'm going to find you attractive. She could have, if she was attracted to him, it would have been no sweat at all, without a second thought. Oh, well, you're an attractive man yourself, and come and get it when it's ready. Or, some type of banter. Doesn't mean anything has to happen, but it's a reciprocation of the compliment. And she didn't even, what she did, she took it straight away and just went, no, 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 no. You don't talk to me like that.
Oh,
Like,
it's negative. It's
you don't
negative.
compliment my body and not be specific. Because I guarantee you, if he had said, "Cool, look at your legs," or "Girl, look at the contours on your body," she would say, "Oh, so now you're sexualizing me. Now I'm an
Right.
object."
Right. You're
Typical man,
objectifying me.
typical
Yes.
caveman. All you see is the body. You don't like my mind. You don't like the way I talk. You don't like blah blah blah. That's how it would go. You can't win. So,
You need to go
um,
away and spend this time, thinking about what you've done wrong, how you've done me wrong.
yeah, Ashley, get out of there. I'm glad that he did. I'm glad he decided, you know what? He took that ring off at the home state when he went home, put it on the mantelpiece, never put it back on. It's done.
I I would love to talk to Reese and find out about more about that partner swap because it seemed like Grace was a Debbie Downer that week. Um, and I would love to hear Reese, like, what was the fun things they did. I would also like to hear from Grace, what are some good qualities that Reese may have shown during that week? Can we say something nice about some of these men? Because it's sounding really like, you know, all men are bad is the way she's being portrayed. I don't want to think that of her. I
Mm,
didn't see a male friend in her friend group.
no.
So again, I would love to know Grace's relationship with men.
Well, she
And
was
I
described by her friends as, what was it? A staunch feminist.
Right.
And that to me indicates that, she doesn't really have a male or masculine, a very positive view of masculinity or examples of that around her. She probably got an echo chamber that probably amplify her rhetoric.
Right.
And
Does she have brothers? Does she have a dad in her life, an uncle? It's like, what is her relationship
did we, I
with
mean,
men?
did we, when she was with her family and her friends, did we see any? No.
Men?
So
No.
exactly. So, yep, typically I would assume there's going to be an echo chamber for her, which allows her rhetoric and mindset to flourish the way it does. So it's going to be difficult for any man that comes into her life, unless he's very feminine and pushes um, the feminist agenda in the same way she does. There won't be an alignment there. She'll always feel intimidated. She'll always feel like he's the bad person. She can chastise him relentlessly for the smallest or the most major things, where she has to make no concessions and take no accountability or have any self-reflection at all. Everything that she said on this last visit to the experts was about him and what he had done and what he had said and this, that, the other. But like we agreed, there's not one time she put leave. There's not one time she said, I don't want to be in this relationship no more, until the last few episodes where they were together. And I
And
think,
she never lived separately from him either, did she?
no, she didn't. And he would leave out of frustration because he's like, listen, I can't take this anymore. I'm getting out of here. I'm sorry.
Right. They're one of the couples who never decided to live separately. Because
Mm,
I'm telling you, I have no problem with the whole bathroom. I'll probably have the bathroom door open. But if I lock the door and you come in, that is a sign for me that I need a different living space. I
yeah.
need to go.
I mean, I'm different. You go in the bathroom, you best lock the door and open the windows in there too. And like the candles and the incense as well. And I'm burying my head under the pillows. I don't even know. I don't want to know what you got going on in the bathroom. That's your privacy and your issue. I'm going to occupy my time doing something else. So I don't know what got into Ashley in particular. I don't know if he was joking, but Ashley, you've been around Grace long enough to know that you cannot joke with this lady at all. Every type of joke you throw out there, she's not going to find it funny, and she's probably going to find a way to chastise you for making it. So, and that means he can't be himself, can't be the cheeky chap that he wants to be. So,
No.
relationship is over. And um, again, I can see why Ashley got frustrated from what we've seen. Obviously, she can blame the edits and you can add all of those different factors, but she's giving them the material to edit in a certain way. And I don't think they've done it to put her in a negative light. I think this is probably the positive light, as positive as they could give her in terms of the a rub with the editing, and she
A-
still came off bad.
And she says that Ashley is so concerned about how the group sees him. I think she's also concerned about how the group sees him. Like, he's
She
always laughing and she's always making sure the group knows what a terrible man he is.
And this is the thing, it's actually her that's projecting. She's more concerned about how everybody views her, right? Because again, she's very defensive. This shield that she wears of staunch femininity is very fragile.
Right.
Anything can unsettle her or, put her in a state of, what's the word I want
Panic.
to use? Yeah,
Panic.
panic. She just moves so frantically. She'll be difficult to deal with. I don't even think, I don't even think Lee or Leah could even deal with her. You know?
Right. Remember, her good friend is your Julia Ruthless.
Yeah, but that's she can't. Yeah,
That's her friend in the experiment. Okay. But
yeah.
there's a way, and I think because Ashley has tried to change and adjust himself, there's a way to speak to Ashley or to get Ashley to kind of move a little bit differently. But yes, his jokes don't land, but guess what? Everybody thinks he's funny. He was
Mm-hmm.
the one all the women chose as the funny man.
And she could not believe it. That I think drove her insane, thinking, "How
Yes,
could you like this man? He makes these jokes, he makes these comments about my body. He never gives me the chance to express myself. Like, Grace, you've been expressing yourself the whole time. He's not one time told you to be quiet.
ever.
Exactly. She's been going off the whole time, unchallenged. All he says is, "Have I really been like that?" Okay, well, I think I've had enough. I think I've had enough.
I think
You
for
know,
Ashley, he wants people to, or wants her to see that his intention is not malicious. His
exactly.
intention is not to hurt. His
Yeah.
intention, it may not land,
Mhm.
but don't paint him as a complete supervillain.
Yeah.
He had a moment. It's an action. This is an action that I did that was wrong. That doesn't mean I'm a bad guy. I think that's the differentiation Ashley would like for her to make. Like, I can do something wrong, but
Mm.
that doesn't mean I am a bad guy. And he's made to feel down to the end, to feel like he is a supervillain.
Yeah. And that's how she wants him to be viewed by the others, and that's how she views him herself. She wants
And
to
that's
put
not
him in
how
the
the
village.
public is viewing him.
No, but that's what drives her so crazy. She's like, "Why don't you see him the same way that I see him?" And it eats her up. And that's why she keeps making reasons to try and chastise him even more. What? The ladies still like you? Okay, well, you made a joke about me, so you're a bad person. Um, the audience like you? Okay, well, I'm gonna go on social media and tell my side of the story. And what, the comments still like you? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna turn off the comments because I can't believe people still like him. Yeah. So it's a concerted effort to try and cultivate this good guy, bad guy situation, and she considers herself the good guy no matter what. When in actual fact, she self-sabotaged this relationship because I think it really did have a chance. And I also think that she just wants to punish Ashley as because of her views, being a staunch feminist, her views on men. Ashley is a scapegoat for all men.
Yeah, he definitely is. And Ashley has had nothing to say on social media that I've seen at all. Nothing to
Nothing.
say.
I've just seen him with all the different cast members,
Yes, having fun.
having fun, playing games, chilling, enjoying
Yeah,
himself. He
yes,
hasn't said one disparaging thing about her.
at all.
No.
Okay, let's get to the main event. Ding, 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 ding.
Hmm.
Nelly and Steven. This
Yep.
week we had the homestays. Okay, we had Nelly and Steven.
Hmm.
They went separately, didn't they?
Yep.
And Steven eventually, Nelly went home,
Hmm.
and Steven eventually came to her home
Yep.
with her roommate, and the roommate comes through with information that Steven has is on social media, on dating app,
Hmm.
reaching out to women, a verified dating app
Hmm.
profile. Steven is a little bit pulled back, like, this is not me,
Hmm.
couldn't have been me. And but the thing is, it's a verified account. Even at the commit me ceremony, Leah is like, dude, do you know the hoops you got to go through for this verified account? They even got to take your facial recognition through the
Hmm.
phone. So don't say it isn't you. So definitely Steven is persona non grata. With Nelly, they do. Did they come to the commitment ceremony? Yes, they did. She told everybody about the dating profile,
Hmm.
and Stephen is pissed off. But the experts diffuse him that he's very defensive. When things happen, he is very, very defensive. He's not just talking about what has happened.
Hmm.
What did you think? What did you think? Because Nelly took off her ring and said the marriage is over, but
Yeah,
then she shows up at the commitment ceremony.
yeah. She wanted to show up at the commitment ceremony to be performative and to print off the page, come in and show the rest of the group and show the experts and kind of humiliate Stephen as well. Um, she also said that there were entries made on the same day or the day before that they'd had an argument and he didn't turn up for the homestay. I don't know how dating apps work. Never been on them. Never been a fan of them. Never been interested.
Oh, you never have?
No,
Oh, I
absolutely
met
not.
Mr. L sit on dating app.
Is it? I have no experience, no idea. But what I will say is, if it's verified, because most of these things nowadays, most apps, you need two-factor authentication, have to have biometric and facial. But also with the age of AI, there's a lot of cloning going on. And him being a former footballer, there will be people that can take his likeness, his image, pretend to be him, and go out there and do stuff as well. So I don't know. And I'll also say that he did show proof that he has been banned or taken off of Hinge for at least 3 years, something like that. So if he's been told that he's banned from the app, he can't create a profile back on there as himself. I don't think.
He can.
I don't know. Like I say, I
He
don't know how
can.
it
He
works.
can with a different email address. It's not using facial
Oh,
recognition. He can use a different email address or a
hmm.
different phone number. If he changed his phone number, then and if he spells Stephen a little bit differently, he can get in. There are ways to get in. Okay.
Yeah, but if he spelled Stephen a bit differently, they'll give it away that's a fake account.
Right, but it could be, hey, it could have been autocorrect. But yes, he could spell it the same way, but if he has a different email and phone number, it
Mm.
wouldn't generate the Autobot in the background to say this is the same Stephen blah blah blah. Because just like John Smith, there may be a lot of John Smiths out there. That doesn't necessarily mean this is the John Smith that was banned. It's a John
Okay.
Smith with this phone number and this email address and this birth date.
Okay. Well, maybe they need to tighten that up because obviously, if you have something like that, people masquerade as people all the time now. How many times have you turned on your Instagram and seen Queen Mother in the boxing ring or the wrestling ring, or 50 Cent singing a 50s ballad, and redo of one of his songs? Like, AI is real. People make fake profiles of things all the time. But not to belittle Nelly's experience. Listen, Nelly, Stephen has not liked you as much as you liked him the whole time you've been on the show. At first, he thought, wow, when you came in on the chariot or whatever that was, he was like, hey, this is different. This is special. She's exotic. She's pretty. She's everything I'm looking for. Something different. Gradually, through wear and tear, a lot of finger wagging, a lot of insecurities being poured out. Yeah, he just lost interest. And she said, I'm giving you one last chance. This was last week. She said, I'm giving you one last chance to fix things or I'm out. And then he wrote, stay for now. And then that took her, that shocked her. He's like, wait a minute, stay for now. But you just said that you're giving him one last chance. And he's basically agreeing with you. Basically saying, listen, if he doesn't turn things around this week and make her feel all the things that she wants to feel, then it's over. And people jumped on him for that. Like he should be pining for her while she wants to leave. Listen, the relationship's over. It's done. I don't know how intimate they were. I don't really care. The fact of the matter is, he is a very volatile dude when cornered. He erupts very quickly, will storm out, will throw things. And the more you corner him, the more you pressure him, the more likely he is to just say, you know what, I don't care about the consequences no more. I'm going to say what I need to say. So these constant pylons that he receives are not going to be beneficial. But conversely, I would say Nelly needs affirmation. She needs affection. She wants someone to be into her 100%, much more than she is probably into him. She wants the perfect marriage. And I think she's not bad for wanting those things. But I think some of the group members have realized that she's very needy, and that would wear them down too. So ultimately, I think it was just an exercise to embarrass Stephen after all this time and then say, leave. And I think Stephen doesn't care to lose Nelly because he'll probably get other ladies once the show's finished.
So to answer Munira, how many episodes are left before the show ends? The show ends this week. We are in for a marathon this week, so pace yourself, okay?
Really?
We are in for a marathon this week. Let me put up, well, these were most of the couples. We're in for a marathon. This is minus Anita and Paul, who wrote Leave very early on. This week it is 6 episodes.
Really?
6 episodes this week from Monday to Saturday. 6 episodes, okay? And that means the 13th and 14th. The 13th, which is Thursday, is the reunion. So let's just say Wednesday should be decisions. Thursday is supposed to be the 13th is the reunion. Okay, reunion dinner party is on Thursday, and then the reunion commitment ceremony where they celebrate their journeys and look towards their future is on the 14th, which is Friday. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, Sunday to Friday this week. Today to Friday is an episode every single day. So the reunion is on the 13th and 14th is what the guide is saying. There's 2 on the 13th and the 14th, Thursday and Friday. Reunion dinner party and then the reunion commitment ceremony. And it says one husband makes a final admission that shocks the whole group. That's on the reunion. So yes, that's going to be a lot. So you heard what I said, the reunion. Thursday and Friday they're listing as 2 reunion episodes. The reunion dinner party where 2 brides clash. One groom faces a reckoning for his behavior as the couple learn which pairings survived and which pairings did not. I hope that's enough drama for you this week.
Man, when you said 6 episodes, I thought, how on earth can they stretch 6 episodes out of this? What are they going to do? Focus on one couple per day? Goodness. But
probably because how many do we have?
Well, we only
Nelly
have
and Stephen are
2 that are
gone.
going to say yes.
Nelly and Stephen are gone. So we have 1, 2, 3. We have 5. We have David and Kia. We have Leah and Lee. We have Rebecca and Bailey, Leisha and Reese, and Abby and John. 5.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering if you're saying they hope they grill Grace a little bit during the reunion. I wonder because they say one husband makes a final admission or one groom faces a reckoning for his behavior. We don't know. It could be Ashley facing a reckoning for his behavior. We don't know. That's all they say. 2 brides clash. One groom faces a reckoning for his behavior as the couple learns who survived in the decisions.
I think Nelly and Julia Ruthless clash. And I think the guy that faces the reckoning for his behavior is probably going to be Stephen.
Okay. And how about, and then one husband makes a final admission that shocks the whole group. That's the last reunion. That's the they celebrate. That's the final reunion. I guess we get a reunion dinner and then a reunion commitment couch. Yeah, reunion commitment ceremony. Yeah.
I think the groom that makes the shocking admission is either Joe or Devani.
True. I think so too.
Devani's going to say, man, I really liked you anyway. I was only doing this for my music. Or
Juice is so funny.
Joe is going to say, well, I never really liked you anyway, Maeve. I've got to go back home.
Oh, how about, it could be on a good side. It could be, one group makes a shocking admission. It could be Reese. Maybe he shocked us and say he's really into Leisha. That's a too much of a pause. That is too much of a pause.
Just see if there's any pigs flying outside my window, because I don't know about that.
That's too big of a pause. I am shooketh. Y'all.
Or it could be Bailey. Could be Bailey saying, okay, I'm gonna give it a try and move to where Rebecca is.
Right, because it's a final admission. It doesn't have to be negative. It could be a positive final admission. The two brides clash. It really don't matter to me. It could be Leah and Leah for all I care. But the groom facing a reckoning for his behavior. Hey, Steven. It could be Ashley. It could be Steven. Okay. Think it could be Davide or Kia.
It has to be someone who's done some type of behavior that's got everybody's backs up, and then it comes back to haunt him.
That's why I say it could be Ashley. Ashley got the good guy edit or the good guy persona. Everybody likes it. They think he's funny. All the brides think he's funny. And it could be that he admits that he's, as he was saying about Grace, that he was a bit of a D.
But the thing is, even if Ashley did get a good edit, everybody around him who's interacted with him over the 7 weeks is cool with him.
Right, because they don't know him. But again, there's the same thing I say. Wait a minute. It's something different to knowing me there, and knowing how I am in a marriage, because I will turn this around on Maeve and Joe. Everybody's comforting Maeve. Everybody's got a tissue for Maeve, and they don't know what Joe has been dealing with. We see it. We see the outburst.
Yeah, but again, there's a lot of man is bad. I mean, Joe was just put in the man is bad category for going to grieve for his grandfather and bury his grandfather.
Right, but even beyond that, Maeve has been, even on the honeymoon, she was pop, tick, tick, boom. They don't know the tick, tick, boom Maeve. They haven't experienced that. Joe has. That's my thing. That's my thing. We've seen Tick Tick Maeve. They have not. So when I see them, comforting Maeve, and oh my God, it's not completely Joe is bad, but Joe is making some really harsh decisions that is really not good for Maeve and their relationship. But you don't know what it's like. He walked in and Maeve was.
Now I think Maeve has such a strong personality that people cower instead of confront her. I think they just don't want the problems when she pops off. They can see, they can tell how emotional she gets, how loud she is, how strong she is. She intimidates Nelly, for example. Makes Nelly quake in her boots.
Yeah.
So they just don't want to challenge her because they don't want her to pop off. I don't think it's the same as Ashley. I think Ashley has done the couple swaps, where he got on famously well with Abigail, was it he was partnered with? Yeah, I think it was Abigail.
Who, Ashley?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was partnered with Abigail.
Yep. So they got on well. Also, the fact that April kept picking him as the top choice, and she was on the couples swap with him because her and Stephen joined Ashley and April for their couples night.
Abigail. Abigail.
Abigail in their belly dancing and their banter and their fun and everything.
That was fun. I really didn't expect Steven to actually put on the scarf with the jewels on it and shake his waist. But
I
he was
thought
good fun.
that is what Nelly would hit the roof about. The fact that they've dressed up in Indian gear and they're belly dancing, and she's actually Indian herself, and Stephen ain't belly danced with her. Well, how are you doing that with strangers and cooking for them in the morning? But the belly dancing, that's a cultural, traditional thing that Nelly would, brings to the relationship. Have you ever been interested in that before? No. So why are you interested in it when Abigail brings up the idea?
Well, here's the thing, it's not all Indian populations do the belly dancing, but I understand where you're going with that. I'm wondering, she did have a boundary. She said, "Do not cook for April because you have not cooked for me."
Yep, and she did. He did cook
No,
for her.
he not only cooked for her, he served it to her in bed.
Of course. And absolutely. Yeah, I expect Nelly to hit the roof over that. And you're right. Not everybody can dance. So maybe belly dancing isn't Nelly's thing culturally, or she probably has no rhythm either. But the fact of the matter is for him to do these type of things with someone who he doesn't know as well, but he likes more than he likes his own wife. That's what I really thought Nelly would hit the roof about.
Now, hey, another shocking admission from a groom to the whole group. Maybe after this, if y'all remember Paul and Anita, maybe Paul and Anita decide to date after this. It doesn't have to be a bad, final admission that
Or
shocks the whole
maybe
group.
Julia Ruthless finds herself a sugar daddy in Paul. Someone who
Paul ain't
put up
got nothing.
He's old. She's after that long money, that pension, that will money. Sugar baby.
I wonder, y'all, I'd love to see love flourishing always, and I wonder if Leah and Leisha go on a date after the show. I don't know. I don't know, y'all, but that's just one of my thoughts. But we shall see y'all Sunday today, all the way till Friday. There are episodes every day, so pace yourself. Leave yourself some time to see it. We will be back here next week Sunday doing this recap for you of everything. It should be explosive. But JRX TV, tell the people what you're working on and where to find you.
Man, I'm currently working on a course, about to become a teacher. But anyway, so on IG, I'm JRX TV. You can find me there for health, fitness, traveling. I do consultancy now, so I consult on everything. And you can also find me on TikTok on JRX TV as well. Nice, dazzling destinations, a few properties here and there, some other stuff that I do. And then on YouTube, find me here with El Cid, covering Married at First Sight UK. You Ready to Love has just started, so I'll be covering that soon too as well. And yeah, I hope you like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for any notifications of uploads that we have coming up for you.
Thank you. And we are here on Elsa 932. We will be having a celebration this week. We have crossed over 1,000 subscribers on our way to 2,000 subscribers. So thank you all so much for being here. We will be here next week to kind of wrap it up. Later on today at 5 p.m. EST, it's Unsolicited Advice, where a wife finds out that her husband actually kissed his work wife. Work wife. That's why I don't like these titles. Okay. I don't like this work wife, work husband, foolishness titles. But tomorrow is Membership Monday at 8 o'clock. The members, we will have our usual member live where we clutch our pearls and talk about grown folk subjects and have a little fun. But this week, definitely, I think Tuesday, I'll be doing Ready to Love. I'll go more in depth, but on Fridays when Ready to Love is showing. Y'all want me to watch it with you, live watch. So we will watch it live together and we will talk to each other during the commercial breaks. But I think Tuesday I may set up a Ready to Love actual breakdown and kind of talk about each of the moments and scenes, and I got to rewatch it like about 3 more times. But y'all, also LCID Unscripted on Fridays is where you get to tell me what you want to talk about. We talk about anything the chat wants to talk about with a little trivia, with a little year in music. We look at the stats. But y'all, thank you so much for being here. This week is going to be a little bit hectic. Look at my shorts. I always have glimpses of the show for you in the shorts section of this channel. But we thank you so much for being here with us. As always, I'll see you on the next one.